With the size and complexity of AWS, it can be really hard to know if what we're building is what meets sort of current best practices or current standards, or if it meets certain industry well-known standards like ISO 27001 or PCI DSS. So we're trying to find ways that we can automatically verify that our infrastructure meets those standards or meets those criteria. And one way we can do that is with a package called CDK Nag. So let's install that. So we're going to use aspects for this. So I'm going to say aspects.of_app.add, and then we can add a new CDK Nag aspect. And in this case, we'll just use AWS Solutions checks. But if I click on AWS Solutions checks, we find the folder. You can see there's a variety of them for different use cases like NIST standards or PCI DSS. And we do have a separate lesson on aspects, but the way they work is they visit each of your construct nodes and they let you perform some operation on it or have a look at it and inspect it and decide if everything's okay. All right, so we've added that solution checks. Let's see what happens if we try to run a synth. Okay, so we get 4 errors here, 2 about our brush your teeth Lambda and 2 about our custom resource. Now the first one is relating to us using a managed policy, and some people prefer not to use AWS managed policies because AWS might change them without our knowledge. And I think it's pretty safe to trust the fact that they're going to do that with a security mindset. I think security is touted as job number 1 at AWS. But still, you might prefer to use your own policy anyway. If we're happy with that though, if we don't mind the fact that this is used, we can add a suppression. So let's go to the stack where that's created. Let's find our Lambda function in this method. And just underneath where we've added our IAM there, I'm going to add a nag suppression. And we've got a number of options for how we do the suppression. So you can add one for a stack, 2 resources, or to a resource by path name rather than actually passing in the construct. So we're going to do it by resource or by construct. So I'm going to pass in the Lambda function. We're going to supply a set of suppressions. And then we have to say, yes, we would like this to apply to children because the resource that we've got a challenge with is actually a child of this construct, and it's a couple of levels deep in this case. So for suppressions then, we have to provide an ID, which is this value here. Or let's scroll to the top, let's get the first one. So that's there. And then we can put a reason in and say why. And so we could say, we don't mind the use of AWS managed policies. And you could tailor these for your organization, and then other people reviewing the code of your CDK app can review these reasons and see if they think they make sense and if they're appropriate. And then if we run a synth again, we are now down to 3 errors. So with CDK Nag in here, we can't even get as far as synthing until things are secure or built with best practices. And it comes with a nice set of Nag packs, as they're called, for different use cases like HIPAA, NIST, PCI DSS, and a general AWS one. So something to consider if you are building a CDK and want to be thinking about security as you're building and wanting to be getting that tightened up as much as possible from the start.